For decades, a quiet but persistent battle has been waged, not in grand arenas or on city streets, but in the heart of our homes. Every morning, across continents and cultures, families gather around breakfast tables, reaching for their favorite spreads to start the day. It's a conflict that pits two of our most beloved and common spreads against each other: classic, golden butter and its rival, the ever-evolving margarine. On one side, you have butter, the traditional creamy favorite, cherished for its rich flavor and made simply from churned milk or cream, a staple for centuries. On the other, margarine, a plant-based, affordable alternative that shook up the breakfast table when it first appeared, promising a modern twist on an old classic. The debate over which is healthier has swirled for years, fueled by changing science and shifting public opinion about fats, cholesterol, and heart health. For a long time, butter was cast as the villain due to its saturated fat content, while margarine was hailed as the healthier choice, until we discovered the dangers of trans fats lurking in some margarines. Suddenly, the lines blurred and confusion reigned. People were left wondering which spread truly deserves a place on their toast. Today, we're here to cut through the noise, clear up the myths, and arm you with the facts you need to make the best choice for your health and taste buds. We'll explore the fascinating history of both spreads, take a closer look at how each is made, and dive into what the latest science and nutrition research say about their benefits and drawbacks. By the end, you'll be ready to make a confident, informed choice for your toast, one that fits your lifestyle, your values, and your taste. Let's dive in and settle the great spread debate once and for all. Butter's story stretches back thousands of years, likely discovered by accident as milk was transported and churned by movement. Ancient cultures valued butter not just as food, but as medicine and even in religious rituals. It became a dietary cornerstone, especially in dairy-rich regions, prized for its energy and flavor. Margarine, in contrast, is a product of necessity and invention. In 19th century France, Napoleon III offered a prize for a cheap butter substitute. Chemist Hippolyte Mege answered with oleomargarine, originally made from beef fat and milk. Over time, margarine evolved, shifting from animal fats to vegetable oils, making it affordable and accessible worldwide. It was marketed as a modern, scientific alternative to butter, especially during tough economic times. This set the stage for the health debates that followed. Two spreads, two very different beginnings. Butter's production remains simple and rooted in tradition. It all begins with fresh milk, which is carefully separated to extract the rich cream. This cream is then pasteurized to ensure safety and quality, a step that also helps preserve the delicate flavors of the final product. Next, the pasteurized cream is poured into a churn, where it's agitated and whipped. This process causes the fat molecules to clump together, gradually forming butter. The remaining liquid, known as buttermilk, is drained off and can be used in baking or cooking. At this stage, salt may be added, not just for taste, but also to help preserve the butter and extend its shelf life. Some butters are left unsalted for a purer, creamier flavor. The butter is then kneaded, either by hand or machine, to achieve a smooth, even texture. This step also helps remove any remaining buttermilk, ensuring the butter stays fresh longer. It's a straightforward physical process: cream, churn, and you're done. This method has been used for centuries, connecting us to generations of dairy farmers and home cooks. Margarine, however, is a feat of food science and modern engineering, designed to mimic butter's qualities while using entirely different ingredients. It starts with liquid vegetable oils, like canola, sunflower, or soybean oil, which are naturally unsaturated and remain liquid at room temperature. To make these oils solid and spreadable, they're hydrogenated or blended with other fats. Hydrogenation is a chemical process that adds hydrogen atoms to the oil, changing its structure and making it more solid. This transformation alters the fat molecules, giving margarine its characteristic texture and stability. Some modern margarines use blending and intraesterification instead, to avoid trans fats. Water or milk is then emulsified into the fat mixture, along with salt and a variety of flavorings to enhance taste and mouthfeel. Emulsifiers help keep the mixture smooth and prevent separation. Coloring agents, such as beta-carotene, are added to give margarine its familiar yellow hue, making it visually similar to butter. To further match butter's nutritional profile, vitamins A and D are often added during production, making margarine a fortified alternative. The result is a spreadable, butter-like product that's packaged in tubs or blocks, ready to be used in your kitchen just like traditional butter. Butter is tradition. Margarine is innovation. Each has its own story, shaped by history, technology, and changing tastes. While both products serve a similar purpose, their methods of creation couldn't be more different. One is a simple, age-old craft, the other a marvel of food technology. Understanding how they're made helps you appreciate what ends up on your toast each morning and why each spread has its own unique qualities. Next, let's see how they stack up nutritionally and what that means for your health and your breakfast table. When comparing butter and margarine, the most significant difference lies in the type of fat each contains, which can have a big impact on your health. Butter is rich in saturated fat, about 7 grams per tablespoon. Saturated fat has long been associated with raising LDL, or bad, cholesterol, which can increase the risk of heart disease. Butter is also a source of cholesterol itself, which is another factor to consider if you're watching your heart health. Margarine, on the other hand, is made from vegetable oils and is usually higher in unsaturated fats, including both monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. These types of fats are considered heart-healthy because they can help lower LDL cholesterol when used in place of saturated fats. However, not all margarines are created equal. Stick margarines, in particular, often contain more saturated fat, and, in the past, were a major source of trans fats, an artificial fat linked to even greater heart risks. Today, many brands have removed trans fats, but it's still important to read the nutrition label carefully to know exactly what you're getting. When it comes to calories, both butter and margarine are quite similar, with each providing about 100 calories per tablespoon. This means that, from a calorie perspective, choosing one over the other won't make a big difference if you're watching your weight. Light or reduced fat spreads are available for those looking to cut back on calories and fat. These spreads contain more water and less fat, which lowers their calorie content, but they may also have added ingredients to improve texture and taste. Butter naturally contains vitamin A, which is important for vision and immune function, as well as small amounts of vitamins D, E, and K2. These nutrients are present because butter is made from animal milk. Most margarines are fortified with vitamins to match or even exceed the levels found in butter. This means you can still get these important nutrients, even if you choose a plant-based spread. Ultimately, the healthiest choice depends on the specific product you select and your own dietary needs. Always check the label for fat type, calories, and added ingredients. Remember, it's not just about the type of fat or calories, it's about the whole nutritional picture and how these spreads fit into your overall diet. The trans fat story changed everything. Margarine was once praised for being low in saturated fat, but partial hydrogenation created artificial trans fats, far worse for heart health. Trans fats raise bad cholesterol and lower good cholesterol, increasing heart disease and diabetes risk. Once the dangers became clear, regulations forced manufacturers to remove trans fats. Today, most margarines are trans fat-free, using new methods and healthier oils. The legacy of trans fats lingers, but the modern margarine landscape is much safer. Still, the episode left many wary of processed spreads. It's a public health lesson in the power and pitfalls of food science. With trans fats mostly gone, experts now take a balanced view. Demonizing a single food is out. Focusing on overall diet is in. Small amounts of butter can fit into a healthy diet, but moderation is key. Health organizations still recommend limiting saturated fat, so soft, non-hydrogenated margarines made from healthy oils are often preferred for those with heart concerns. Butter's appeal lies in its simplicity and minimal processing, but it's still high in saturated fat. Ultimately, the best choice depends on your health, habits, and preferences. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. Context matters. The real focus: a balanced, varied diet. Let's bust some myths. No, margarine is not one molecule away from plastic. That's pure pseudoscience. Butter isn't automatically healthier just because it's natural. Plenty of natural foods aren't good for you in excess. High saturated fat in butter still matters for heart health. Not all margarines are loaded with trans fats anymore. Regulations and reformulations have changed the game. Always check the label, but most modern spreads are trans fat free. Taste is subjective. Butter is prized for richness, but many margarines now taste remarkably close. Some blends even combine the best of both worlds. The only way to know what you like is to try for yourself. Don't let old myths guide your choices. Facts and your taste buds should lead the way. Standing in the dairy aisle, the choices can be overwhelming. Ignore flashy marketing. Read the nutrition label and ingredients list. Choose spreads with zero trans fat, low saturated fat, and healthy oils like canola or sunflower. Soft tub margarines are usually better than hard sticks. If you prefer butter, decide between salted and unsalted, and consider grass-fed for extra nutrients. Blended spreads offer a compromise. Some butter flavor, less saturated fat, and easy spreading. Pick what fits your health goals, budget, and taste. You don't have to stick to just one. Use different spreads for different occasions. The best choice is the one that works for you. Be informed, not intimidated. Your toast, your rules. After all this, the butter versus margarine battle is less about winners and losers and more about balance. Moderation is key. Enjoy butter if you love it, but don't overdo it. If you need to manage cholesterol, opt for a soft, trans fat-free margarine made with healthy oils. What matters most is your overall diet. Plenty of vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. Don't obsess over spreads. Focus on the big picture. Choose what you enjoy, use it sparingly, and build a varied, nutritious diet. That's the real recipe for health. Enjoy your toast, guilt-free.